Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode of the Marketer Show. So, if you're joining for the first time, then I'd like to share what exactly this interview show meant to. So, in this interview show, we interview the marketer who created a massive impact in their life as well as a lot of people's life. Now, this I would like to interview today. I'd like to introduce someone who changed a lot of mm, lives in India across the world in terms of how we should look at the digital marketing. And I'd like to welcome Deepak Kanakaraju, as known as Digital Deepak, to our interview show. So, welcome, sir. Welcome to this interview. I'm really honored to have you here.
Thank you, Sagar. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad that one of my students has built their own audience and interviewing me again back into his show. So yes, my pleasure.
I remember I created the Facebook group, like which actually I'm my core main focus to which build my audience. Where I was doing the batch for internship back in 2020, and I created a Facebook group, but I never reactivated it. I actually activated and pushing through. But you given, I think third week or fourth week, you give them okay, go and generate leads. That's how I started this group. Now almost 2,000 members over here. I really like to thank you for that. Otherwise, it will never be possible to reach here what I'm today. Thank you so much from my bottom of my heart.
I'm glad that you have been one of the best students and acting on all the advice, right? There are a lot of people who went through the same content, but they have not acted on the advice. They probably did not believe that it's possible, and especially when you are new, you need to have a little bit of risk taking capability because what you work on might not actually end up working out, so you have to do it anyway, see if it works, and it worked out for you. Now you are on a roll because you have started seeing the results, then there is no stopping you.
Yes, I learned real digital marketing from you. Even I did digital marketing back in 2017, but they were just focusing on certificate. Go and on the certificate and show it to the company and so. But the moment I learned real like digital marketing, that's why I didn't just learn the digital marketing, but what I learned from you is I learned the entrepreneur's mindset of digital marketing. That was something
Mm,
I learned from your perspective, how you will look at digital marketing in a different
mm,
way.
mm.
So yeah, that is something my biggest. So just there are a lot of people who are completely new to you, like they don't know. Definitely, some DDIP members also part of this live. They are commenting like Bandhana or other people. But would like to just quickly introduce with a short introduction that they should know what like how you got started with this digital marketing journey. Like
Mm.
yeah.
I started with a motorcycle blog, and this particular blog I started in 2008. And I ran this blog until 2012, and then I sold the blog for $25,000. And in the meantime, I was making around $1,000 to $2,000 a month in income. And I reinvested a lot of it back into content. And that journey was really interesting because I got to travel to a lot of places, test ride motorcycles, meet a lot of new people. That is when I understood that if you publish content online, it can start getting traction, and something can come out of it. What exactly comes out of blogging, we can't say for sure, but there'll always be some benefit that is coming out of it. So 2012 I sold the blog, and then 2013 I started digitaldeepak.com, and I did not like blog very seriously. I was just publishing like 2 articles every week, and over a period of time that started getting traction, helped me build my own community, which is my Facebook group. And then I went ahead and launched courses on the audience, because with bike advice I was not able to sell something directly to my audience, and with my digitaldeepak.com blog I was able to create a course, create a product, and sell it to my audience. So that is when I understood that if you are developing an online audience, you need to know how to monetize it. And if you are in a topic which is something like motorcycles, or humor, or news, or Hollywood, Bollywood, and topics like that, those are more like inclined towards entertainment than information. So it becomes difficult to sell something there. So to sustain a creator's journey, the monetization method is very important. Like for example, even what we are doing right now, what enables us to sit and do this while most of the people can't take out time to do this is because somehow or the other we know how to, make revenue with the help of our audience while helping them as well, right? Which means that you need to build a funnel, you need to have products, you need to learn how to sell, you need to learn copywriting. So that is how the journey started, and the longer that I am in the journey, the more I understand the importance of conversion, sales, and all those things.
I think it's been more than 15 years, what I can see, like you started into getting into this digital world.
Mm. Yes,
So,
2006 is when I started. I literally started with a dial-up internet connection.
oh, nice. So that point of, I think there are very few people know like what is digital marketing, and you started that
Yes,
point of time itself.
yes, yes.
So
And
what was your first income and look like how
my first income was $25, and it was affiliate marketing income.
nice,
And one company was paying me $1 for every referral, and I asked all the people in my college to sign up on that site and create a resume and upload it. And they paid me like $1 for every referral, and I got like $25, and $25 was the minimum payout amount.
nice. So that was the affiliate. Even I also started as affiliate marketing. Then now I actually monitoring as a coaching. Great.
Mm.
So
Mm.
s- how this digital Deepak came? Like I think you were the first one who start adding digital before the name.
See, the reason I added Digital Deepak was that long back I had attended a training program, and in that the trainer was telling us to just come up with names, just to remember, and something that is rhyming. So we had Gopal in the same workshop, and Gopal came up with the word
Gopal.
Gopal Krishnan,
Okay.
and he came up with the word genuine Gopal, and I came up with dynamic Deepak, and it just kind of stuck to the mind, because when something is rhyming, it's like easily memorable. So that way, when you look at Coca-Cola, it's like very difficult to get it out of the mind because it rhymes. So that
Rhymes.
was the first thing, which most people don't understand and call themselves Digital John and Digital Karthik, whatnot. Digital Deepak makes sense because it's D and D, it's DD, and people call me
DD.
DD, right? So that was one reason. Another reason is that people think that Digital Deepak means that it's because I named myself Digital Deepak because it's into the digital marketing field. But it's more about creating content, putting it out there. And when you create content and put it out there, what happens is that you are literally putting out a digital version of yourself out there, and you don't need to be creating, like you don't need to be interacting with people all the time. You can go ahead and just create content and let it stay there, and what happens is that the digital version of you does the work for you. So we are all dreamed of probably making some clones for ourselves, and trying to go ahead and let the clone work for us, but it doesn't work that way. And if you can, like create content out there, it's like creating a digital clone of ourselves. Right now I'm talking to you, but I'm pretty sure that there is definitely some person out there who is watching one of my videos right now or reading one of my content pieces right now. So that is like the digital version of me interacting with them, and that gives leverage. And this kind of leverage has not been available to anyone for, like pretty much forever.
Nice. So we have, I think, almost 30 people joining live. Those who are like joining live, comment hashtag live replay in the chat box. So let's talk about your like favorite topic. What I can see, like we building a personal brand is very much important in this digital world. So how someone is just starting out, like they can start building up their personal brand. They don't know anything about it. They just know that okay, people can earn money online, but how they can start building their brand and selling the product and making money out of it. So, what is your suggestion for the new
The personal
term?
branding is very misunderstood, and a lot of people think that it's just about putting your face out there and putting your name out there. And if putting your face out there and putting your name out there, if it is going to build brand recall and if it is going to build trust, because for me, personal branding is about trust. There is no point in being known but nobody trusting you, right? And people think that it's just about getting the popularity. But if you think about that, then the politicians would be the most trusted people in the country because they are all over the place with their, you know, sometimes ugly faces
Yes.
on very big hoardings all over the city. So just putting your name out there is not personal branding. First of all, people need to remember you, and people will remember you only through your story. And your story has to be true, it has to be consistent, and that is something that I have gone ahead and made the maximum utilization of. I have always gone ahead and told my story, how I got started as a digital marketer. I started as a civil engineer, and then I got into blogging. I started writing, and then the blogging journey converted into some corporate job opportunities. Then I started Digital Deepak. Then I started my digital marketing agency, which is Pixel Track. Learn Today is my edtech company. So this is what people remember. And why did I start doing that? Because motorcycles were my passion, and that's how I got started. And digital marketing, one of the reasons it fascinates me a lot is because it's amplification of communication, and anybody can use digital marketing to progress their own career, right? So now this story that I have worked in a few corporates, I've started an agency, I used to run a motorcycle blog. This is what people remember, and this is the personal brand, right? And this is also connected to in a way that people trust that I know digital marketing because I have been in a long time in this. So if people want to build a personal brand, first they should have an interesting story to tell. And to have an interesting story to tell, they should have first done interesting things. And to do interesting things, you need some courage. You need to, I mean, if anybody listening here is still living with their parents, I would first recommend to, get out of your parents' house and live in a separate city. Because I used to think that, okay, what's the need for going to a separate city? What is the need for leaving parents? Like, why can't I just stay at the comfort of my home even after I'm 20 years old? But then only after coming to Bangalore from Salem, I realized that just being in a different city is going to make you much more alert, much more I would say this attitude of wanting to conquer things, build things, make connections, do projects, get work done, burn your fingers. Unless you are going to put yourself out of the comfort zone, you are not going to grow. So those things kind of became very important to me. So if people have to build a personal brand, they can keep writing, they can keep blogging, but people won't listen to them unless they have something interesting they have done in their life, right? And that needs courage, and that needs taking big decisions in life. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit this job, or I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to travel for 6 months. Usually people who travel a lot, they say that almost all the good copywriters in the world have extensive experience with life itself. They have traveled a lot, experienced different cultures, sometimes they know different languages. So no matter what personal branding blueprint I give to anyone, if they have not done interesting things in life, there is nothing to amplify. Personal branding is just an amplification of you and your story. If you don't have an interesting story, and if you have not done interesting things in life, then there is no story to tell. What's the point of trying to amplify a story which is not even interesting, right? So definitely, I think in the next 5 to 10 years I would still be doing a lot of interesting things. I'm planning to travel more. I'm planning to start some non-profit projects, and I do keep doing a lot of experiments with new campaigns and new products and services as well. I do events, and maybe when I have the capability, maybe invest some money into education for underprivileged kids and things like that. I have like a bunch of ideas, but I also make sure that it's useful. It's something that I am passionate about, and if these two things are taken care of, then it will definitely make for a good story. And then I can go and tell that story to the world, and people will listen. Like, why is Elon Musk's story so interesting? Because it is interesting. He did interesting things in life, and he did bold things in life. So courage, boldness, and things like that, that cannot be replicated, that cannot be bought. And I don't think people even think about that when it comes to building their personal brand. But that is like, if there is someone who does not actively try to build their personal brand, but they went ahead and did something very interesting, even if they don't talk about it, people will talk about it, and their personal brand will expand, right? So that is personal branding for me. And the more authentic your story is, the more interesting your story is, the more attention people pay you. the more opportunities you are going to get, whether you are a freelancer, whether you are a coach. And it's definitely more important for coaches than freelancers, because freelancers it's B2B relationship, but for coaches it's much more of
Wow.
a broad B2C personal brand relationship, right? So
What I
let me ask you, what is the most scariest and boldest thing that you have done in your life?
I think while I was even just pursuing this the product I actually sell as a Facebook live thing. I did like
Mm,
365 days going live every single day without
mm.
missing any single day. Like so that was
Oh
like
wow.
the so that was the best thing I have done throughout, like to maintain that consistency. So
Okay.
that story motivates a lot of my audience. So that's
Okay.
inspired a lot of people to take action. So
Hmm.
that's how I am able to inspire a lot of people.
So is this a part of that series?
Which one?
Are you like
No, no.
still going live every day?
No, I'm not doing. Now I'm actually taking 90-day YouTube challenge. Now
Okay.
today is the 65th day of YouTube. So it is
Mm.
also live on YouTube. So it is one
Okay.
part of that, the journey. So that's how like
Fantastic.
I believe okay, consistency is one key of aspect of growing our
Of
business. So
course.
that's why like I set example first, then
Mm,
I like teach them okay how you can also be consistent with.
mm.
So
Fantastic.
that
Yes, I think that makes for a story, right? And then you
yes,
can like
yes,
write about how this impacted your career, how this impacted your
yes.
personal brand, and all that stuff.
Yes, that's how then I link to this like Facebook group thing, like how I actually built my Facebook group from Facebook Live. Then people started coming to my coaching that okay, this if Facebook Live can grow a audience and
Mm,
monetize that. So that's how like people love about it. So that's
mm,
how my journey inspired a lot.
mm,
So
mm,
what are the best time? Like I think like the way you explain about having like doing some crazy and craziest thing and some different thing, as well
mm,
as having a right story. But a lot of people taking personal branding as a just like growing their followings
mm,
online.
mm.
Okay, so what is the right time to like introduce and monetize those audience? Like once you build a personal brand, people know you, know your story.
See, generally, what used to be the method that was working earlier is that you start blogging, you keep publishing content, you get traffic. Using that free traffic, you start building a community, and using that community, you sell something low priced like a 500 rupee book, and then a 5,000 rupee course, and then maybe a 50,000 rupee mastermind event or something like that. This used to be the general funnel. But now this funnel has been kind of overutilized and beaten down to death that everybody is trying to do it. And in this day and age, if you are trying to do it, one more problem with that approach is that you might get the product market fit wrong, because there is no profit to be made in a 500 rupee product or a 5,000 rupee product. Also sometimes your acquisition cost might be higher than the sale itself, because you are competing for eyeballs, others are bidding for the same eyeballs on Facebook, and you are just going to end up paying through the nose for every customer that you acquire. uh, if you are ready to kind of just break even or make a marginal loss in the lower end of the funnel to make a profit at the back end of the funnel, it is still fine. But if you take this approach, there is a good chance that the back end of the funnel, you might get the product market fit wrong while you are trying to build it from the free to low price to high priced. Instead, what I would recommend is that build your personal brand, do the free stuff, write, blog, go ahead and do something like this where even if you have a small audience in the beginning, you are continuously putting some content out there. You understand people, and the different kind of offers you can make to them is, one is done for you, that is like more like for freelancers agency, and if you are getting a client, you are doing it for them, that is done for you. That is purely like a service category. Little bit more scalable than that would be something like a mastermind. And we have Alpha Club Mastermind at alphaclub.com. And this particular mastermind we have built to primarily help freelancers and agency owners scale their business from 1 lakh a month to 10 lakh a month. And we also work with coaches who are in a similar range. In fact, we take only people who are already making 1 lakh a month.
Oh,
Now
nice.
I figured out that this is my high ticket product. This is much more scalable product. But if I have to create a funnel for this, then the internship program is not always the right funnel for this, at least in the short term, because internship is primarily attracting the students, right? And students are not yet at a capability to join Alpha Club. So, one of the things that I have learned from my experience is that when you are going from low ticket to high ticket, the high ticket might be a different set of audience than what your low ticket attracts, because sometimes pricing is positioning, right? So I think I will, say this. This is the first time I'm saying this, but the internship program is going to come to an end in another few
Oh,
batches, and we are going to wind it up because we provide 70% cashback. We provide, mentoring services on top of it. Inflation has happened, cost of living has increased, and instead of us increasing our price, instead what happened, our ad costs have also increased, right? So it's no longer
yeah,
economically capable for us to, sell this product at 15,000. Still make sure that all the employees are paid for, and we still provide a good service. And it only makes sense for us to run the internship program or something low ticket like this if the internship program has a direct upsell to a high ticket item. In that case, we can keep breaking even. Not meaning to say that the program is a failure. The program is definitely a success. In fact, we are going to revisit probably some point in the future, but it creates a very, very long term funnel. Like, for example, people who join the internship program, 5 years down the line, they might very well join Alpha Club, right? But right now, at this point, we don't have 5 years to wait. But it's definitely building a lot of goodwill in the market, and nobody else has created something at this price point, at this scale, at this value delivery, making sure that the experience is taken care of very well, right? So it's definitely something that we are very proud of, but just in the interest of focus and in the interest of the unit economics, right now we are just going to focus on Alpha Club and focus on our agency clients, because in Alpha Club, if we are teaching people how to become, like, scale your freelancing or how to build your agency, then we should be running a successful agency ourselves, right? So a lot of effort. Even today I had, like, one client meeting in the morning, one client meeting in the evening, and I do a lot of that apart from teaching, because if you don't do what you are teaching, then what is there to teach anyway, right? You will be outdated
exactly.
with the concepts anyway. So coming back to your question, what I would recommend people to do is that I would recommend people to learn how to sell one on one, and then convert some students or agency clients directly working with them, because the best offer that you can make to someone is for them to work with you personally. So a combination of done for you and done with you at a high ticket price, which means that the minimum pricing should be 30,000, nothing less than that. And if you get 3 customers a month, that would be more than enough for you to at least make enough money for your survival, so that you are not stuck with a job if business is what you want to do. So that should be the first goal. Get enough clients so that your personal livelihood is sustainable, and then start making enough money that at least you are saving 50% of what you are earning, so that for every month that you work, you actually end up creating 2 months of livelihood for yourself. So this will start helping you increase your risk taking capability, because 1 year down the line, you can probably invest some money in the project or invest some time in the project without expecting immediate returns. And only when you invest time like that, you are going to go ahead and probably get some returns which nobody else is doing, because you need to have conviction in what you are doing and you need to take that risk. And the worst that can happen is that you will burn through that cash. Let's say you have 6 months of savings and you burn through 6 months of cash, and you end up right back at zero, which I have done several times in my career. And then now that you have more experience, you get back to freelancing, get back to, like, keep building your personal brand forever, so that you always have a few clients to work with, and just work with them closely. And this can be in any niche. Like, we have one student who is helping, he is a divorce lawyer, but he is not just like a typical divorce lawyer just representing them in court. He is also kind of providing other value added services, like, being like almost like a therapist for his client, right? With client confidentiality privileges, and he's charging a premium. And we are, like, encouraging them to increase his price even more, so that he also wants to build his personal brand, and he has other plans as well. So we told him, like, just work with a few clients, charge high for the clients, and the belief system that these clients exist out there who will actually pay you a premium will only come when you learn sales very deeply. And there are a bunch of books about sales. I think this is one book that I would recommend. This is right on my table. And more I have started
Yeah.
reading about. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Just hold it there to see.
Yes.
Almost looks like a mirror image. Spin selling, sell like crazy, pitch anything by Oren Claff, flip the script. So all these books is all what I am going to really immerse myself in. And the other books I would recommend is obviously Robert Greene's books, 48 Laws of Power and 33 War Strategies, and a bunch of books like that. Anything else interesting? Definitely E-Myth Revisited is definitely a very interesting book. This one, it shows you how to build processes and systems and basically scale, and it talks about how McDonald's and franchisees they primarily thrive on processes and systems. So, but yeah, even before you build process and systems, you need to learn how to sell. If you really learn how to sell, then you will never go hungry, and you don't need thousands of customers to go ahead and make enough money to at least sustain yourself, right? What is your highest ticket price, Sagar, as of now?
So now it is a 2 lakh. I just
Oh
recently
wow.
sold two of like one to one. I also believe that
Ah,
okay, we should have someone to actually work with them, understanding their
mm,
pain points and giving them valuable suggestion to like help the best possible way. So
yes.
even 1 year before, I was able fear of selling that 1,000 rupees product, but
Mm,
yeah, thanks to this journey, like has given a lot of. Then now recently, the last month itself, I increased
mm.
from 60,000 to make it like 2 lakh. Just I know I can give value. I can work for next 6 months, and
Ah,
so that's confidence given me because I practice a lot whatever I'm teaching.
mm.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Sagar, you should join Alpha Club totally, because high ticket products, high ticket sales is what we talk about all day. And I think you would be a great fit for the club. But anyway, I don't want to convert this call into a pitch meeting for my
No,
product, but
even I
good
also
job, man.
talk. I'll
So
also
what was anyway? You were saying something, but
yeah.
just so that I don't forget my question, what was the biggest change in belief system that helped you increase the price of your products?
I think first I have to invest on myself first, because I have invested more than 15 lakhs in throughout this journey. I
Okay.
earned more than 20 lakhs, but out of 20 lakhs, I just putting back to my learning almost
Mm,
15 lakhs. So I believe okay, if I have that moral authority to charge this amount of money because I have already invested in that. So
exactly.
that is actually the mindset shift happened.
Mm, mm.
Otherwise, if I never invested so much, I would never charge this much to my audience.
100%. I invested $30,000 in one program in 2020, Sam Owen's Quantum Mastermind program. Right now, it's $36,000. And yes, you need to go ahead and um, spend money to build the conviction that there will be other people who will spend money
Yes.
on you.
Yeah, when I was also the people, those who are actually inside the two people, I thought like, no, they will never pay. But the moment actually given the offer, they're ready to
Mm,
pay because they wanted to work closely with me.
mm,
And but when it comes to like the new people, they're just getting started 2 3 months back. How they will charge this amount of money? Like, is it
mm.
like so?
They
What is
definitely
your take?
can't, but they can start with services, right? They can have like two clients. If they
Mhm.
can't go ahead and charge 2 lakhs, they can at least charge 20,000. But definitely don't try to sell like a 100 rupee course, right? Which a lot of people do. Because first of all, you don't even work with your customer, and you can't even know what is it the customers need. So when you are flipping this whole funnel, what happens is that you have a very clear understanding of what your customers need working with your high end clients. Then from done for you, you are moving to done with you, which is like a mastermind that, hey, I won't do everything for you, but let me do it with you. I will guide you, advise you, and you can go ahead and do it. And then people who are not yet ready to join that level of commitment yet, then they would want a piece of you, but they can't like maybe probably pay that much, or in terms of time, or in terms of energy and things like that. So they would go for your done do it yourself course, right? So done for you, done with you, do it yourself, DIY.
Okay.
So when you are going for DIY, that's when you will have like a very good product market fit. And when you have a great product market fit, there is a good chance that you can keep that funnel running, so that if you are selling a 5,000 rupee course and it's a do it yourself course, then if you are spending like 1 lakh a month in ads and you need like 20 customers, these 20 customers become your leads for your high ticket product.
I take it.
And then
Yes.
once the demand for your high ticket product increases, that's when you will be able to have the confidence to increase the price. Because if you're a newbie and if you can only get two clients, you can't increase the price from 20,000 to 2 lakh, or even 20,000 to 50,000. But if you have 20 people wanting to work with you and you can only work with maybe 5 people in a month, then you will have the confidence to increase the price, because they are basically bidding up the value of it by increasing the demand. So you have to increase the demand for your products, and artificially increasing the demand by keeping the supply low is also something that people can do. Like for example, we also want to scale Alpha Club. We could scale it to like 500 members at 50,000 rupees, but we have kept it limited to 99 people. And we are going to keep it 99 people until we can push the boundaries of pricing as high as possible. And then we will see how we can provide the same value with automation without giving access to us, and whether we can create multiple tiers into the same product. Hmm.
Nice. So,
So
do
that is
you
what I would
suggest?
recommend people. Start with understanding the market very clearly, and work with a few people, but charge them higher. And if you don't know how to charge them higher, then read all these books.
Yes.
Mhm.
Even I was reading again, like spin selling, where he talks about when you are actually charging higher, the implied the implication question should be more. Uh,
Mm.
like then only you will discover their pain areas and
Mm.
what is costing them in the future.
Mm.
That's how you can charge more. That is something I was getting the golden nuggets out of that.
Mm.
Okay, so there is another questions like people have, like those who are into freelancing, they are doing done for you. So do you
Mm.
also recommend them to create a course?
I think freelancers, coaches, it's all kind of like always overlapping, right? Like for example, if a freelancer is teaching people, or I mean, if a freelancer is working on WordPress websites, then he can go ahead and create like a WordPress mastery course, which is exactly what one of my students, I forgot his name. I think his name is Anthony. Strange that I can't remember right now, but I would definitely share it with you later, and you can share it with the audience. That he started doing WordPress workshops. He started doing bunch of things related to WordPress, and he started out as a WordPress freelancer, right? So every freelancer can also become a coach. And like for example, if there is a design freelancer, and he's doing some UI UX work for his clients, there are two things he can teach. One thing, he doesn't necessarily need to create a course, because his clients might not buy a course. His clients might need to work with him. And what he can do is that he can go ahead and write about best design practices, latest UI UX, things that are coming up. They call it flat design, skeuomorphic design, and a bunch of things. He can write about that. Even though it's a repetition of a lot of things that is out there, he can write about it from his own perspective. But there will be a bunch of people who want to become design freelancers, right? So he can go ahead and teach other people, because that is what he is doing, and he can inspire other people to do it, and there is enough demand in the world for that, right? So I would recommend people doing both, doing coaching and doing freelancing, and they are not very far from each other.
Yes,
And
exactly.
he, like his clients might not buy a course, but his clients might definitely read his blog, subscribe to his newsletter, and probably buy his book if he has written a book. And even if they don't read the book, just the fact that this person has written a book is going to be a huge authoritative thing for that person as a freelancer or as an agency owner. And writing about it and creating content about it, it's also like being a coach only.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Educating them because they are personally like investing time to implement those things.
Hmm.
So we are moving to the next segment where basically I would like to know more about the email marketing thing because you completely changed the game of email marketing.
Hmm.
When I would like 2020 before even joining the intensive. But I was searching like where I can join your email list, because somebody told me that, okay, you are not getting digital Deepak, then you are not into digital marketing. I say, what
Okay.
happened? So I
Ah,
just searched like where I can join you. Then I joined your free course. Then become that I really addicted to your email. Like literally, I always like whenever I get notifications, I first open and then just read through it, and
mm,
it gives me literally like the good connect with you personal level. So how someone can be, like in this crowded market where everybody is like bombasting with a lot of promotional emails, how you
mm,
stand out from that crowded market and you build a huge email list. So
mm.
what is your suggestion for someone who just getting starting out, how they can also build their email list? What is the best lead magnet? Any suggestions you would like to share?
See, for a long time, I was just breaking even with my email list. I had a bunch
Okay.
of products,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not even do webinar sales pitch. From 2016, I have been, building my email list, and I have been like only focused on continuously delivering content, continuously keeping the ads running, and never letting the ads stop. That's what I have been focusing on. So 2016 to 2020, until I launched the first batch of the internship program, I was making some 5 to 10 lakhs in a month, and whatever money I made, I reinvested blindly into building more leads for my funnel. And a lot of people cannot go ahead and do that because they might be doing some temporary campaign or a project or something, and when they go ahead and invest in ads, they need to take an ROI immediately because they have not built a very long stable nurturing funnels, right? So I think the biggest reason why I have been able to do what I have been doing is starting with that first course, which is 25 free videos on digital marketing, building subscriber base for that, and letting people go through the drip sequence over a period of almost 30-40 days, and nurturing those people before I sold them something. So if I have like extra 2 lakhs, what would I do with that 2 lakhs? Maybe invest in the stock market or buy Bitcoin, or save it somewhere, so that I can expect that that 2 lakh will have some purchasing power in the future, according to the inflation. When cost of prices of goods and services increase, I can use that 2 lakhs for livelihood again, is what I would expect. That is what we do with investing. In fact, it should not be so complicated like this, but that is how it is because of the economic system, banking system, inflation, and everything. So now for me, if I have extra 2 lakhs, the best investment of that 2 lakhs to get the maximum ROI is to build leads, right? And I can afford to do that because imagine I get like 20 rupees per lead for like a free lead magnet, and I invest this 2 lakhs, I would generate 10,000 leads. Now, these 10,000 leads need to be engaged, nurtured, even without my active working, right? So, this is truly passive asset building, I would say. So, these 10,000 leads, let's say I build leads for the 100-day lead generation course. These people will be engaged for 100 days, getting value every day, right on their email inbox. And I would be building a relationship with them. I would be building my brand with them without having me to do anything because I have already built the content. And I feel this email drip sequence is the new form of content because YouTube videos will get buried. If you write a book, nobody is going to read it. And there is literally like no other way to deliver content consistently without having to burn yourself trying to create new piece of content every time, is to create really solid golden pieces of content, even if it takes a lot of time, put it in a drip sequence and start building leads for it, right? So, one of my projects that I am thinking is to build a 10-year drip sequence. I want to build a
Mhm.
newsletter where there is two emails, every week, and that means it's 100 emails in a year. If I write 1,000 emails in a sequence for 10 years, I will be sorted, right? So today, if a lead comes into my email funnel for 10 years, he will be like getting value. And what topic to write, which market to target, and all those things I'm like still thinking about. But this is the best way to leave a legacy. Earlier people wanted statues of themselves, people wanted paintings of themselves. I will create a drip sequence, which means that if I live for 100 years, and somebody opts in on the day I die, they will be getting follow-up emails from me for the next 10 years, and I will be literally sending emails from the grave. And if I put a team, and if I build like a trust and make sure that this keeps going on, then I'll be permanently mailing people, because new opt-ins will also keep coming, right? So I have been talking about the same thing for 5 years, but nobody takes me seriously. And slowly people have started seeing the power of it, that even if you have 1,000 subscribers, put them on a drip sequence, start delivering value, and go ahead and make sure that you are delivering value on automation, you are building relationship on automation, you are building authority on automation. And once you have built this, the amount of effort that you need to put into sales becomes like very very low, because you have
Right.
already removed the objections, established your authority, established your brand, delivered value. So that reciprocation, authority, and all that influence triggers with which Robert Cialdini talks about, is already taken care of on automation silently behind the scenes without people knowing. And as you had already said in the email, I am a person who is not very active on social media. And in fact, I don't have many social media apps on my phone, and it has been months since I logged into this stupid social media network called Twitter, right? If I log in there, I'm like getting anxiety only. And it's like a lot of egoistic people out there, and everybody trying to go ahead and try to put some value, be cocky to each other. And this whole culture of status game with, hey, मेरे पास verified Twitter account है, so I'm more important person. I'm like checked out of that. Right now, LinkedIn is something that I use. Facebook slightly, little bit of Instagram, and sometimes I delete Instagram and I don't use Instagram for like an entire month also. I just post, I don't consume content at all. And whatever time I have only been focusing on writing emails, and I keep adding to the drip sequence. So the sequence becomes like bigger and bigger, and people get to know me, get to learn from me, get to know my story, everything through the sequence itself. So that's where the power is. And I think if people take it seriously, the good thing and the bad thing about it is that it takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of time. And the bad thing is that you need to have patience. It won't be like an overnight thing. I have been doing this for like 6 years now, at least the drip mapping sequence and digital mapping, even more than that. And the good thing about it is that um, most of the people are lazy and they are not going to do it. Any marketing tactic, everybody will try to do it, but this is something that takes time, which means the competition is less. Which means that if you have the initiative and if you go ahead and actually do it, create like an email course, create like a landing page, start driving some opt-in, start nurturing people, then you are going to get results which nobody else will. And maybe 10 years down the line, everybody starts doing it. Maybe not, I don't know, but right now it's a great time to start doing something like that.
So how do you get ideas for writing emails? So what is your
You have to keep
source?
reading.
Keep reading.
Mm.
So mostly the books you are getting a lot of ideas from
And
them.
it's a combination of books that I read. I read a lot of Osho, and I don't know if that's the cup of tea for everyone, but I think his ideas are revolutionary, way ahead of its time. I think he was way ahead of its time. He should have been born like 3000, year 3000 or something. So, like for example, recently I wrote an article about how you can lose yourself in a state of flow, and that's what is true enjoyment is when you are getting work done. And the article was a combination of my own life experience, a combination of spiritual concepts from Osho's book, and then a combination of concepts from the book Mastery by Robert Greene. So
Okay.
all these, were a combination of it. And that unique combination is something that nobody can cook up, right? Because first of all, you are adding personal experience to it. So unless you keep reading and have some inputs, you are not really firing those neurons in a way where you are like able to think about new things and things like that.
So when it comes to writing email, like do you follow any format like so that you can make it more engaging to them so that people should read throughout?
I
Like do
try
you read a
to keep
lot of
it as conversational as possible, and I always have one person in my mind who I am writing to, and that is always important. All the copywriters talk about
yes.
it, that you need to pick your target customer, and even like take the photo of the target customer and put it in front of your screen, so that you know who you are writing to. And when you are writing an email to a friend, would you even consider, creating like a format? Definitely
Mm.
not, right?
No.
So if you are like writing to one person, I think over a period of time, the flow automatically becomes smooth.
Mm. Got it, got it.
Mm.
So there is, I think Manish from Alpha Club is here. So he's asking question
Oh,
from both Sagar and DD. According to you, what's your age that separates you from everyone else in your industry?
I think just being me.
Just being me. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there is no one like me, and there is no one that is going to be like me. So I think I'm not trying to be like anyone. I'm just trying to be more of myself, and I think that's the answer. Maybe it looks like a philosophical answer, but that's the truth.
So when we want to teach others how to create content, is it better to create in-depth course or is one-to-one coaching?
You cannot create in-depth course unless you do one-to-one coaching first. Because what will you know what to put in the course unless you know what is the challenges that people are facing?
Nice. Okay, so another thing like this, whenever it comes to you do email marketing and you get a lot of different people, and how do you actually you segment them and you put a different message for them? Sometimes I feel okay, I am having coaches, I'm having freelancers, sometimes some other, but how do you actually differentiate them? How do you have any funnel, specific funnel for them or segment
So
for them?
overall, I think most of the emails that I send, especially like blog posts or new YouTube videos, is kind of targeted to my entire list. I
Entire
can't
list.
really afford to create a good piece of content and not let a bunch of audience know that, hey, this is there. However, if I create like a course like 100-day lead generation course, that is only for people who opt into that, and only they will receive that content. And that
Mhm.
segmentation takes care of it automatically. So whatever I am putting it in a drip sequence, that will be specific for the people who opt in for that particular lead magnet. But whatever I put in my broadcast email, that is kind of generic for the entire audience, because obviously I would like to get as much leverage as possible for any new piece of content that I have created.
Great. So another question from the audience is how to do content marketing related to our business. So someone is new into affiliate marketing business.
So, see, I think there is no such thing as an affiliate marketing business. You have to build an audience, and you can monetize that audience either by promoting an affiliate product, either by doing freelance work for them, one on one coaching for them, selling courses to them, or if you are like a YouTuber, you go ahead and get some sponsors. So there are n number of ways to monetize an audience, and affiliate marketing is one of the ways to monetize audience. But however, I wouldn't say that there is something called an affiliate marketing business. It definitely used to exist. People would just take affiliate links, put it on ad networks, promote it, and make an arbitrage money out of it. But that is obviously short-lived. And smart affiliate marketers had always created a lead magnet, started building an email list, and from that email list, they started, leveraging multiple ways to make money from the audience. Where one of the methods was affiliate marketing, and people who were very serious affiliate marketers uh, went ahead and understood what their audience wanted, and then they went ahead and created their own products, just as a replacement for the affiliate thing as well, which is a very smart way to do it, because you don't need to develop an MVP to know that the audience is buying. Because if you just go ahead and promote an affiliate product, then you know that the audience is buying, then there is your MVP, right? So that's my answer to that question.
Even I believe the same. When even I was to just promoting affiliate products, so I was started promoting Russell Brunson product.
Mm,
So people are not nurturing enough. But the moment I started creating my own product, they
mm,
started actually taking it seriously. Then whenever I recommend something, they also started taking it more seriously. Okay, if
mm,
they get
mm,
into my funnel first, then I recommend, okay, now I build an ecosystem that, okay, if they're going through this journey, they need email marketing tool. Like how even internship, there was like, okay, you need to build a website, you need hosting. I think that was the
Mm,
best way to actually make it completely passive income from affiliate
mm,
marketing. So what is
mm.
your take on it?
See, passive income is overrated. The way I would look at it is that there is a spectrum. On the left end of the spectrum, you have active income. But left end of the spectrum, when you think about active income, you might think of a job as an active income. But even the job is something that you are capable of doing because you have invested in your education. Your parents invested in your education, raised you, fed you good food so that you can, have all your functions going on properly. So there is also an investment that was done. And let's say somebody really worked hard, went to IIT, is making like 5 lakhs a month as a software engineer. He's also doing active income, but the asset that he has is the education that he has had. So the active income increases because of the investment that was done previously. Somebody who is like a daily wage laborer and he can carry, sacks of cement or sand and does not know anything else will probably make something like 200 or 300 rupees per day, because there has not been much of investment done into his education, long back, right? And probably he did not have the opportunity. So now, left end of the spectrum, let's say currently we are all speaking in English and we are understanding, we have a computer, we are seeing it in the computer, we have a certain level of assets. So we are like probably a lot of us here or towards the left end of the spectrum. Let's say right end of the spectrum. What is there on the right end of the spectrum? So let's say you have 10 crores in cash and you want to get some monthly income. You want to get passive income. You can put this 10 crores in fixed deposit. 50 years down the line, you will actually lose money because inflation will be higher than even your fixed deposit interest rate. Let's say you go and buy, houses, and you rent out the houses. Even that houses you have to manage. If the toilet breaks, you have to fix the toilet. If the tenant is not paying a rent, you have to call and remind them, or you have to employ someone to do that, and you have to manage that employee also. So there is some level of activity here. There is no 100% passivity in even something like a real estate investment, which is considered to be one of the most stable investments out there. But it's not much. You can probably work for 2 days in a month and take rest for the end of, rest of the days. So considering you have active income at the left end of the spectrum and a possibly most passive income at the right end of the spectrum, which is real estate investment, we have to strike the balance somewhere in the middle where you are getting the maximum leverage for the amount of work that you do. Building an audience online is something like that. I could create one video, it would reach 100,000 people today. 10 years down the line, if I keep building my audience, one video will reach like, maybe 1 million people or 10 million people at the same time. So that leverage increases. That doesn't mean that I can stop working, right? So I can take all the assets I have right now, put it into some passive income instruments and completely forget about it, and do very very little work just to manage it, but the income possibility from that will be very less. So let's say if I have 1 crore of cash, I put that 1 crore into buying a flat. That flat might give me 50,000, in income every month, sometimes not even that much. 50,000 would be 6 lakhs per year. That's 6% per year for 1 crore. To be honest, the flat that I am living in probably yields like 3% per year for the, house owner, right? And it's a rental flat that I'm living in. So the problem is that first of all, we don't have that much capital, and there are better uses of the capital that we can put into use. Looking at a more realistic angle, let's say somebody has 10 lakhs. What is the best way to use that 10 lakhs to invest? If you are already in a job, you are already having some obligations to keep your monthly, electricity bills and all the other bills that you have running. If you are spending, let's say, 50,000 a month, that 50,000 a month converts to 6 lakhs in a year. What is the best investment if somebody has 10 lakhs? Quit your job, make yourself free, invest your time in learning, and have 2 years of growth time. Now this becomes an asset. You are investing in yourself, right? So you are basically compounding the assets over a period of time. And if you have so much passive income, what will you do with it anyway? right? You would want to do something that you love. You will keep working. You will keep building on those assets. This whole word passive income comes from the assumption that actively working for something is difficult, but with the little bit of capital that you have, you can organize your life and everything in such a way that you can actually, go ahead and make it in such a way that work becomes fun, and then you are never going to work a single day in your life. So work a lot, work your ass off, but enjoy doing that and keep building your wealth. So I would literally want to delete the word passive income from everybody's mind and dictionary. So just guys, just type deleted in the chat box if I know that you have deleted the concept of passive income from your mind.
Great analogy. Really appreciate it. Okay, somebody is asking who is your mentor. So even I have that question. Like when what who you look up to in the industry when it comes to who to take inspiration from.
I think my inspirations lie more on the startup sector, um, including founders of you know who, all the top unicorns and the top companies in the world. I follow them a lot. I keep watching their podcasts and things like that. I have watched like hours and hours of CEO interviews. I think that is the best way to learn. Yes, you have courses and things like that, but CEO interviews, these CEOs are not creating courses and they are actually successful. And the only way to tap into their brain is via podcasts, right?
Exactly.
Like for example, if people are not watching this interview, they might still get some value from my content that I keep creating. But let's say Elon Musk is not sitting and creating content and courses and the funnel, right? He's just giving interviews. So to tap into their level of thinking, I think it's extremely important to understand, how they think, how they approach things, and how they view life, right? So definitely Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Airbnb ka, founder, Alex Becker, Hyros founder, Sam Owens, consulting.com founder. And I obviously have gone through his course as well. So it's like a bunch of things. And then on the spiritual side, definitely Osho, little bit of Sadhguru, even though I don't subscribe to everything that he says. I'm more inspired about how he has built his personal brand than what he says. He
Mm.
says some BS many times. He just like doesn't give a straight answer and just like laughs it off and everything. But at the same time, it is very interesting on how he handles those questions. I have started learning more from that. Um, who else is my mentor? I think there is a little bit to pick up from everyone.
Yes.
Jayant is definitely inspiring me to be in that zone where you are just working all the time. You know,
Mm.
and Jayant is my flatmate also right now, and it's just like weekend may I am not able to chill because he keeps working, and I start feeling guilty, and I also start working. So yeah, I think that's how it is. A lot of different mentors and inspirations all over the place.
Yes, even Jayant is also inspiration to many of us. Yes, he's from my same batchmate, and because he was always there to help, and now doing great thing in Learn Today. Yes. Now, like, do you follow any like routine? Or, like, how do your day look like? Love to know about like how much time you spend
A
on
lot of people
learning
have
and
asked that question, but there is a little bit of routine. But mostly, I try to keep my calendar free, and I think end of the day, schedules are for slaves. So don't like enslave yourself within your own schedule. Also, I keep working whenever I can work. Something like this has to be scheduled, obviously. So I keep those schedules as less as possible, not more than two commitments in a day. I go to some, strength training sessions that has to be scheduled because the doctor won't be available. Otherwise, the classes are going as a group class. Client meetings, podcast like this. This is pretty much what I would like to put it in my calendar. Rest of the time, I would like to keep my calendar free. I cannot put reading, content writing, sleeping, eating. I mean, eating to some extent, you still have to maintain a schedule. But yeah, content writing, content consumption, entertainment, watching, impromptu vacations, impromptu meetups with friends. everything is like, out of schedule. I want to keep it like that, and I want to keep that as much as possible. And I think that kind of helps you be creative a lot, because it's more like, do you schedule or plan when to fuel your car? You go there to the petrol bunk, you fill it up, you keep going, and then once it shows empty, you just fill it up again. That's exactly how I run my life, right? For example, today I had a long day. I had, like, bunch of meetings, bunch of work. I was running around for a bunch of things. I had some personal family obligations, and now we did this webinar. So probably tomorrow I won't work much. I would still write one article, send it out to my email list, but then rest of the day I will just like be lazing around. And day after tomorrow morning, as soon as I wake up, I will be like, itching to get work done. So I think that's my schedule.
Great. So, somebody asking like, how do you keep yourself very calm? Uh,
I'm very angry
yeah.
right now at certain people. You don't just see it on my face. Anyway, I was just kidding. Um, how do you keep yourself calm? I don't know, man. I think just a lot of life experience, and get a lot of work done, and be calm. I mean, why wouldn't you be calm? It's just
Focus
a
more on
choice.
what matter most. Yes.
Hmm?
And focus on what matter most.
Yeah,
Like a lot of the
yeah.
times, yes.
I mean, see, I feel like decision making will always beat productivity any day. And when you make the right decisions, like for example, I made a decision to get out of my toxic marriage, which was kind of putting my career down. And I felt like I was trying to accelerate while somebody was pressing the brake. And no matter how hard I tried to work, I think making a decision to quit that marriage, and then become single, was the single biggest decision that I did in my life. And since then I have never felt like I'm like working hard but results are coming, because it was like something was holding me back, and it got unleashed. So I think in terms of success and productivity, people have a lot of things to sort out, and I think the focus can be put there. Whether it's like health issues, relationship issues, anything that is like not like closed loop. It's like an open loop that is bothering them all the time. That is what they should fix first. If they fix that, then it's like remove all the friction before you try to accelerate, right? So that's the way I look at it. Decision making will always beat productivity any day.
Great. So,
Mm,
last thing I would like to know, like, most important thing, even if you are into this industry long, even if like in last 2 years, uh,
mm,
so how do you handle like these failures, the like the lowest part? Sometimes even like month of June, something happened. My sales was
mm,
completely down. Like definitely
mm,
you must be going through those things. So how
mm,
do you
mm,
handle those things when you were like very high risk? Do
mm. And yeah, I think we can it will also be probably be relevant for personal life issues as well, right? Something happens and you feel miserable, and then you have to get out of that rut. My outlook or advice might look controversial or very different, and something that nobody ever has advised, but this is what is works for me, is to just suffer through it. Suffering only extends when you try to resist the suffering. If you feel like shit, then just feel like shit. Don't try to distract yourself and not feel like shit, right? If you are angry at someone, or if you have some mood out, or something is bothering you, I don't know, like don't obviously escalate it, but spend like half a day just dwelling over it. Let it sink in completely. Let it sink into your bones, and then you will suddenly feel like, oh, life is not so bad. If you feel like, array, all this business is going to go down, then start thinking like, if you have fear, then sink into that fear. I have had that many times. Array, whatever I have built, like, will come crashing down. What will I do? And then I assume that, okay, what if it actually crashes down? What will I do? Okay, I won't like, run out of a roof over my head, and I won't like go hungry. And then I'm like, yes, Africa, a lot of children are going hungry. At least I have the food. I should be happy with that. So something like that, whatever the conversation, I mean, like I'm giving an example of the crazy conversation that runs in your mind. Like let it run wild. And then eventually the mind will get tired of thinking, and then next day you will just be back to routine. And the thing is that you can't really be productive, creative, unless you are optimistic and having a positive state of mind. And the best way to get back to positive state of mind is to dwell in your negative state of mind and let it sink in. It's easier said than done, to be sure, because people have a natural tendency to distract themselves from anything that is bothering them. They will watch TV, they will probably drink or smoke up or go out with someone, lament it with them. I like to spend time in solitude when I'm at my down. So yeah, I think. I don't know if this was relevant to people. Let me know in the chat box, guys. Was it relevant? Does it make sense?
So when it comes to the new people, specifically, they're just entering into this market and they try everything. Okay, whatever the course says, whatever the coach says, but sometimes this that didn't work. Then they
Mm,
try to give up. Okay, this is not working for me. Let's give up. So that is
mm,
the situation. I try to share with you that a lot of people try to give up and they go back to
mm,
their job.
mm.
So how they can overcome that particular
I
part?
mean, I have tried doing something of my own, and I have gone back to jobs, came back, tried something of my own, gone back to jobs. I have done it on and off, myself as well, and I wouldn't necessarily consider it as failure. I think your question might be like, giving up and going back to a job. It's all about, what is it that you can tolerate. I can tolerate the amount of hard work that I have to do in my business. I can't tolerate working at an office. If some people can tolerate working at an office and can't tolerate the uncertainty that comes in the business, then that's what is best for them. I wouldn't necessarily want to motivate them to go ahead. Nine, you have to become a businessman and become an entrepreneur. I had like no choice. I'm unemployable. I have to figure out something of my own to bring in income. And the moment that I walk in into like a corporate office, I get depressed, and then I get like diverted and everything. So I think when it comes to career, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to life itself, it's about what you can tolerate and what you cannot. It always comes down to that.
Great. So Rahat is one of your student. She asking that she's happened to see you in an airport, but somehow she didn't came to you and say hi. So is it okay if she can come and say hi whenever they see you in any public platform? Because she's
Of
from also
course.
Bangalore, but I can see.
Okay. I mean,
Yes.
catching up with at an airport randomly is still not going to be something that might happen again. So just drop me a mail at deepak@learntoday.com, and we could arrange a meetup at my office.
Okay. Most probably maybe it was like just same flight or something happened that day.
Oh, wow.
I think
Okay.
Rahat's, yeah, she
Yeah,
was
I would
mentioned that.
want that, especially if it is like a flight or something. So there was this time where I was going in a flight, and as generally in flight, people end up having conversations with the person sitting next to them. So the lady sitting next to me was something like 50, 55 years old, extremely accomplished. She was reading a Kindle, tattoo in her arms, very fancy bag. And I knew that, okay, very, very accomplished, very successful woman, the way she was sitting, the way she was talking. I didn't like get to know much about her, but she was asking me, "What do you do?" And I was trying to establish my credibility. Like, I'm digital Deepak, but obviously for her it doesn't mean anything. So she was like, "Ah, so cute. You're doing something. Oh, you are like blogger or something." She didn't like understand much. And then there was a guy who like inside the flight, he came to my seat and said, "Sir, I follow you. I'm very glad to meet you and everything." And then I was like with this lady, I was like, so
So,
yeah, I definitely even though I try to keep my ego off of my general life as much as possible, it's always nice to see people recognize me randomly at public places and come and take a selfie with me.
yeah, I think Manish Ahuja hijacked his visit
Yeah,
and
yeah.
spent a lot of time.
Yes.
Um,
If you can track my whereabouts, yes, you can hijack also. Mm.
Good. So, any last thing you would like to share with our audience before we leave the call?
Hmm. I think the primary, theme of this call today was more of personal branding. But it's like a a very very difficult thing to crack, especially if ego gets in the way. So I have written an article called "Why I Am Not Digital Deepak," and it has a little bit of a spiritual angle to it. And I will see if I can share it in the chat box. I'll just share it.
I'll share it if you can just share with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I think people can really crack it with building a personal brand, because once you build a personal brand, everything starts becoming easier because your reputation precedes you. And at the same time, while building a personal brand, people judging you, you being perceived in a certain way, all that can become like extremely stressful. And to not be so stressed out with it and still continue like churning out content like there is no tomorrow, without worrying too much about how people perceive you, is extremely important for being a personal brand. Because once you try to create a persona for yourself, then you have to maintain that persona, and that is where personal branding can become stressful. Like for example, if I try to create a persona for myself, and if I try to go ahead and project myself in a certain way, it becomes extremely stressful to always try to prop up that image, right? It's like one side I prop up, another side falls, another side I prop up, again another side falls. And some actors, politicians somehow manage to do it. But we are not in politics, we are not in Hollywood or in the entertainment industry, we are in the knowledge industry. In the knowledge industry, if you want to really build like a very big personal brand, you can only do it by being more of yourself and not trying to be like someone else. Over a period of time, it gets easy. Like for example, right now, I don't need to even think twice about what I am talking, because I'm just me, right? I'm not even trying to remember what I should say and what I should not say. To have the conviction on being like that in talking about things, and to be a little bit vulnerable about the way you look at the world. And I'm pretty sure I might have said something today that might be like something that people don't accept, like Deepak, how can you think like that? But even then I do it anyway, right? So it takes a little bit of time. Once you reach that level, it becomes like extremely easy. After that, it's like a downhill ride from there. It's like you can like completely work on the gravity. But until then, the uphill battle uh, is more of trying to become more of yourself than trying to expand your personal brand. Because if you become extremely authentic with your life experiences, with your story and the way you are, then that kind of sets the foundation, and that is the beginning of building your personal brand, right? People need to work on that. It's not about building a million followers, putting the number of lists and everything, and slowly over a period of time, uh, this can always be done only with the initial set of audience. So it can be 20 people, it can be 50 people, as long as there are people who are in close contact with you, who are a little bit inspired by you, respect you and everything. You can leverage on that to slowly start building your audience. Like whatever over a period of time, with whatever podcast I have done, whatever I have written, I have become like more and more straight with whatever I have thought and whatever I am saying, and without sugarcoating things. And the more I become straight, the more I become direct, the more I get a validation from people. Oh, sir, amazing! Like you can see the comments, and people are like giving positive comments. Then I'm like, it's like a being like a stand-up comedian, right? Stand-up comedians initially say a bunch of things, a bunch of jokes don't land. Maybe they say 10 jokes and one joke lands, and then they note it down. Oh, this joke is landing, and then they are experimenting with a bunch of audience. And then before they like stand-up comedians, when they hit an audience of like 10,000 people, they are not experimenting there. They exactly know what lines are going to work. And even in such a case, if some line doesn't work, they exactly know how to back it up and everything. So you just become a better speaker, better orator with experience. But you have to get out of the door initially. You have to put yourself out there. It might be a difficult journey for a while, then it becomes extremely easy, and then it becomes like much better. So that is the promise I can give to the audience. I think Sagar has been doing a great job. I think other people that I know, Rohit, Manish, some of the faces that I recognize are doing a great job. Everyone else who I don't know, better make sure that I know you in a year.
how they can learn from you? Is there anything that you like to recommend that they wanted to learn from you? even after this interview?
Hmm. I think my 100-day lead generation course pretty much covers a lot of things. I could give a link to that. If people want to join Alpha Club, then they can go ahead and visit alphaclub.com and apply for Alpha Club. It's through application only. Sagar, you can share it in the chat box. For the 100-day lead generation course, I will go ahead and share the landing page URL from which you can sign up for it. You will get 100 lessons in a sequence for the next 100 days. And, yourself go ahead and see how powerful a drip marketing sequence is. In fact, I was talking to a recent prospective client of mine, and I was telling him that this 100-day course has been working well for me, and that is what he should also be doing. And he's a CA. I told him that, hey, why don't you go ahead and just build a drip sequence for yourself? And he is like, will people even read? Like, of course they will read. Look at my 100-day lead generation course. All these people are reading. And then I subscribed him to the same course, and he has been opening every email that I send every day, and he has been reading. And now it's very easy for me to tell him that, hey, if you are reading, you better believe that your customers are going to read. So building like a drip marketing sequence is going to be the best way that we can help you build your personal brand as an agency. And he completely accepted it. So I think as of now we have sent 28 emails to him, and he has not even ignored a single email. Every email there is like a green
I
on
think
convert.
you have a good open rate also, like more than 40% even after 100 days. That is something I've seen
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Indus
like value day in and day out. So who would want to ignore that? Mm.
Industry average, I believe, is 23 or 25%, something, but you really nailed it, that game.
Mm. Value. The more value you provide, the more consistently people will open your emails. As simple as that.
Yes, I've also shared the
Mm.
lead generation course in the comment box. Also, the
Mm.
Alpha Club, you can see like alphaclub.com, and the link is here. Yeah, I think people are asking about whether you wanted to start any offline course, offline
Stay tuned
something.
for my emails, maybe be in
Yes.
the Alpha Club or in the 100-day lead generation course sequence. I will be sending out an email. And yes, we have already done one batch of offline career Kickstarter program, and I will be doing one more. Um, but yeah, probably busy for the next few months as I am getting married by the end of this year.
Oh,
So
nice. Congrats. And
focusing on personal life and
everyone,
fitness.
please type congrats in the chat box to DD. Yes. So I think,
Yes. Thank you.
yeah, everyone just connect with DD with the email. That's the best way to you can connect on a very close level. And thank you so much, sir. Like, a really great honor to have you here, and you have taken out time, special time from your today's busy schedule. And
Mm.
we'll definitely look for the next upcoming session for another discussion on different topic. Love to
Yes.
have you.
Yes. For
Yes.
sure. Chalo,
So
thank you, Sagar, for hosting
thank
me.
you. Thank you so
And
much.
bye bye. Bye bye, guys. Good
Bye
night
bye.
and good luck. I will probably be a guest in your podcast, whoever is listening to this. And I hope you build your own personal brand and build a following so that I feel like, "Arey, I want to leverage their following."
Yes.
Cool. Bye bye.